Hi guys, welcome back to Matt Chat. This is episode number 11, which covers one of the best strategy games ever made, Sid Meier's Civilization. Civ, as its fans like to call it, was first released in 1991 for the MS-DOS platform and was an instant bestseller and was critically acclaimed. Its developer, Sid Meier, became a household name after Civ, but he had earned some notoriety a year earlier with his game Railroad Tycoon, a real-time business management simulation game based on the railroad industry. That game was more or less inspired by Will Wright's SimCity, which had debuted years earlier and had, of course, made a great impression on Sid Meier and almost any active PC gamer of the time. Civilization is a very ambitious game. Maybe the only thing more ambitious is perhaps Will Wright's Spore, which came out last year. Civilization puts you in charge of a civilization that begins in the prehistoric times, some 3,000 years BCE, and you rule over this civilization over thousands of years, beginning in the Stone Age and ending up in the Space Age. So there's a tremendous amount of time that's covered there, and you get to make many choices about how your society evolves. You can also decide how the society or your civilization behaves towards other civilizations of the world. You could try to make peace and maintain national security, if you will, or you can be a warmonger. The possibilities are almost endless, which is one reason why this game is so addictive and compelling. Even after you finish it one time, you'll probably want to play it again and again just to try out all of these different possibilities. The game is never the same twice. Tremendous replay value. Before we get into Civ, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Matt Barton. I am the author of Dungeons and Desktops, a book about computer role-playing games, and co-author of Vintage Games, a book that covers influential games from all eras and all platforms. If you're interested in game history, or you just are nostalgic for classic games and want to join a community of like-minded people, I invite you to check us out at Armchair Arcade. You can also leave me a comment here. You can rate this video. If you really like this, you can subscribe to my channel. But please just do something to let me know you appreciate these videos and would like to see more. Okay then, without further ado, let's play Civ. When you first begin Civilization, the game literally begins at the beginning of the Earth as a place with no life and not even the chemical compounds needed to spawn life. So after this very nice introduction, I would highly encourage you to watch the whole thing if you are interested in the game. But the gameplay proper begins around 3000 BC. After you've established some basic parameters, such as the number of rival civilizations you want to play with, and selected your civilization, you can choose from Romans and Germans and Babylonians and Egyptians, just to name a few. Each are headed by a historical leader like Julius Caesar. Then you need to find a location for your first city. I chose Rome, so I found a nice place to place my city, and then I need to decide what I want the city to produce. Generally, the best thing to start off with are some militia, just so I have some basic protection, some defenses in place in case I get attacked by the barbarians. When you have a brand new city, there aren't that many different kinds of units that you can build, but later on, as my technology advances, I'll have a lot more options, and I have to really put some thought into what type of unit would do the best good for my civilization at that moment. For instance, since this is a brand new city and I haven't explored the countryside at all, I don't know what's around me. So probably the safest bet at this point is to fortify, make sure I've got enough army units available to me, so if I get attacked, I'll be able to defend myself. Now you notice I only had a few options there. Militia, very primitive unit. Later, when I discover bronze working, I'll be able to make a far more powerful unit called the phalanx. And you can see what happened down there to my guy to the south. He just got attacked by some barbarians. As you explore the country, you'll find these little villages. Usually it's something good, maybe some gold. Sometimes you can instantly learn a new technology. But then it could also be these barbarians who'll jump out and attack you. So here I've discovered a scroll of wisdom. So I instantly learn this civilization advance of masonry, and this will allow me to make some additional improvements in my cities. I can also learn some new advances like mathematics and feudalism. All of these technologies build on each other. So before I can learn writing, I have to learn the alphabet. Before I can learn how to make maps, which allow me to make triremes or ships to explore other islands, I have to learn map making, which requires literacy and the alphabet. So it's a branching tree system, we might think of it. And what's so great about that is that it always gives you a little something to look forward to. As you learn a new technology, more possibilities open up, and of course the first thing you want to do is immediately see what's that like. What's it like to put my men on a ship and explore a different island. So there's always that sort of carrot on a stick just ahead, just around the corner. Some people call that the one more turn phenomena. So you think, well, it's late, I better be getting to bed. I'll go to bed, but just one more turn because I really want to see what this Legion can do. This is kind of an interesting part of the game too. Ever so often, if my people are happy with me, I can build a new wing onto this temple. It's just another example of that one more turn and the always having that thing in the future, something else to look forward to. Maybe I am really curious what I can make my temple look like. So yet another reason to continue playing for another 15 minutes or 15 hours, as the case may be. Now, one thing that you really can't overemphasize when you're talking about this game is the turn-based nature of it. Games like Dune 2, the original Warcraft, SimCity, those are real-time games. What that means is that you are constrained by the actual ticking of the clock. So you can slow things down, you might be able to speed things up, but time always moves continuously. With Civilization, though, time only moves in discrete turns or rounds. The advantage of that is you can have a lot more complex gameplay because you do have that time to micromanage. And micromanaging means I can go to every little city and decide what I want them to build. I can go to every unit of my army, move them where I want. So there's a lot of fine detail that gets lost in the real-time games where everything's always moving and harder to keep up with everything.
And that's all for this week's Matt Chat. Be fruitful and multiply.